Your project is running late. So you do the obvious thing, you put more people on it, and the project gets later, not slightly, reliably. This happens so consistently that it has a name, Brooks's Law. And when someone finally went and measured it across hundreds of real projects, the result was worse than anyone guessed. Quadrupling the team bought about 6 days, and it cost 7 times the work. The reason we keep making this mistake is that the arithmetic feels airtight. Work is a pile. People are shovels. If one person needs 12 months to dig it out, then 12 people should need 1 month. 2 people, half the time. We even have a unit for this idea. The Man-Month. 1 person, working for 1 month. It's how projects get budgeted, how teams get staffed, how deadlines get promised to a client or a boss. And buried inside that tidy little unit is an enormous assumption that people and time are interchangeable, that you can always trade one for the other. Add a person, subtract a month. It's clean, it's linear. And in 1975, a computer scientist named Fred Brooks pointed out that it is almost entirely a myth. 2 things break the arithmetic. The first is communication. When you add a person to a team, you don't just add a worker. You add connections. And connections don't grow in a straight line. They grow like a web. The number of links between people is n times n minus 1 divided by 2. So 3 people have 3 connections. 5 people have 10. 20 people have 190. And a team of 50, more than 1,200 separate channels through which something can be misheard, duplicated, or quietly dropped. Which means when you quadruple your team from 5 to 20, you don't quadruple the coordination. You multiply it by 19. 19 times. The check-ins, the handoffs, the wait. Who's doing that? The second thing is ramp up. A new person is not productive on day 1. Somebody has to teach them. And that somebody is, by definition, one of the people who is already getting work done. So the moment you add people, your output doesn't rise, it falls first, and some work simply refuses to be divided at all. Brooks had the perfect line for it. 9 women cannot make a baby in 1 month. For decades, this was a war story that experienced managers told each other. Then a firm called QSM did something useful. They measured it. They went through roughly 490 software projects and sorted them by the size of the team. Then they compared teams doing the same size job, about 100,000 lines of code. Here is what came back. The small teams, under 5 people, finished in 9.12 months. The big teams, over 20 people, finished in 8.92 months. Read those 2 numbers again. The team that was 4 times larger delivered the project about 6 days earlier. On a 9-month job, 6 days is a rounding error. Now look at what it cost. The small teams spent 24.5 person-months of effort. The large teams spent 178. That is 7 times the effort, 7 times the payroll, for 6 days. Put the 2 charts side by side, and it's almost funny. The schedules are identical twins, and the costs are on different planets. And money wasn't the only casualty. By QSM's own measures, the small teams also scored higher on productivity and delivered better quality. QSM's conclusion: the sweet spot is 3 to 7 people. Not 50, not 20, 3 to 7. So what do you actually do when you're behind? The uncomfortable answer is, not that. Keep the team small. 3 to 5 is the strongest range. Split the work so that the pieces don't have to talk to each other, because coordination is the enemy, and the best way to beat it is to design it out of existence. And above all, Don't throw bodies at a project that's already late, because you pay the training cost and the communication cost at exactly the moment you have the least slack to pay them. And yet we keep doing it because adding people is the one lever that looks like decisive action. Telling your boss you've put 6 more engineers on the problem sounds like a plan. Telling them you've taken 3 off and now everyone is going to wait sounds like surrender. So the incentive is to choose the move that feels like motion, even when the motion is backwards. There is even a hard mathematical ceiling on all of this. Back in 1967, Jean Amdahl showed that whatever fraction of a job can't be done in parallel puts a permanent cap on your maximum speed up. If a tenth of the work has to happen in sequence, then even with infinite people, you can never go more than 10 times faster. Infinite workers, finite speed up. The bottleneck was never the number of people, it's the shape of the work. So the next time a project slips and someone says, "Let's put more people on it," you'll know exactly what's about to happen. You cannot buy time with people. Add people to a late project, and you don't add speed, you add conversations. And 9 women still cannot make a baby in 1 month.